Every emergency guide sounds the same, right? Water, food, flashlight, batteries. But let's get real, those are the bare minimum. FEMA's checklist? It's not about thriving, it's about scraping by. What they don't tell you is there's a second list, a real list of survival tools that give you an edge. Tools that make you self-reliant, not dependent. And guess what? They're not handing this out for free. These aren't conspiracy theories, they're survival facts. The kind of gear that's too tactical, too independent, or just not convenient for the official narrative. If you want to stay ahead when the lights go out, you'll need more than bottled water and duct tape. Today I'm breaking down 9 hidden survival tools FEMA won't tell you about. Trust me, once you see what's missing, you'll never look at their checklist the same way again. Hit subscribe, this is info you can't afford to miss. 1. The Sillcock Key, unlocking hidden water sources. When the taps run dry and bottled water disappears from store shelves, most people panic. But seasoned survivalists know there's a hidden water source that's often overlooked. Commercial buildings. Schools, malls, gas stations, and office buildings all have outdoor water spigots connected to the same municipal water supply as your home. These spigots don't have standard handles, they're locked to prevent public access. That's where the Sillcock Key comes in. A Sillcock Key is a small 4-way tool designed to open these locked spigots. It's lightweight, fits in your pocket, and doesn't require batteries or any special skills to use. Just locate the spigot, insert the key, turn, and you've got access to pressurized treated water. This tool can provide hundreds of gallons of water long after others are scrambling to find a source. It's not about breaking the law, it's about survival when the system fails. Why won't FEMA tell you about this? Because it gives you access to resources they'd rather keep regulated. They focus on the bare minimum bottled water and rationing, while tools like the Sillcock Key empower you to be self-reliant. Pro tip: scout your area now. Identify buildings with these spigots so you're not wasting time during a crisis. And always purify the water you collect, no matter the source. In urban survival, water is life. You can only last 3 days without it. While others are waiting in line for emergency water trucks, you'll be quietly filling your containers, staying independent, and avoiding the chaos. The Sillcock Key isn't just a tool, it's a lifeline. Add it to your kit now, because when disaster strikes, it's too late to start looking. 2. Mini pry bar, the tool for access and escape. In a real emergency, locked doors and jammed windows aren't just inconveniences, they're life-threatening obstacles. Whether you're trying to escape a collapsed building, rescue someone trapped, or access critical supplies, you won't always have time to wait for help. That's why a mini pry bar is an essential survival tool. Small enough to fit in your bag but strong enough to mow obstacles, it's a no-nonsense solution for when brute force is your only option. A mini pry bar is about 8 to 12 inches long, made from carbon steel or titanium, and designed for maximum leverage. It can lift debris, pry open stuck doors, crack nailed crates, and even break through light barriers. Unlike noisy tools like hammers or saws, a pry bar works quietly, keeping you under the radar in high-stress situations. It's not about looting or lawlessness, it's about survival and access when every second counts. Imagine an earthquake hits, and someone is trapped behind a jammed door, or you're stuck in a building with no power, no elevators, and no way out. Your hands, multi-tool or knife won't cut it, but a pry bar will. It's a tool used by firefighters, rescue crews, and utility workers for a reason. It works when nothing else does. Why doesn't FEMA recommend it? Because it's a tool of independence. It's built for mobility and control, qualities that don't align with the wait for help narrative. But in a real crisis, help doesn't always come. Sometimes it doesn't come at all. Pro tip: pair your pry bar with gloves and a flashlight to create a quiet night-ready entry kit. Store it in your pack, glove box, or even tape it under a vehicle seat for easy access. In survival, access is everything. A mini pry bar gives you the leverage, literally, to overcome obstacles and take control of your situation. It's not flashy, but it's effective, and when the time comes, you'll be glad you have it. 3. Gas shutoff wrench, preventing disaster before it strikes. When disaster hits, the immediate threats aren't always what you see outside. Often, the most dangerous risks are inside. Leaking gas lines, earthquakes, explosions, and structural damage can rupture gas pipes, creating a ticking time bomb. One spark near a broken line, and you're dealing with more than a blackout, you're facing a fireball. That's why a gas shutoff wrench is one of the smartest tools you can own. This simple, lightweight tool is specifically designed to turn off gas valves, usually located near your meter. With just a quarter turn, you can cut off the gas supply and eliminate the risk of an explosion. It doesn't require electricity, batteries, or any special skills, just a steady hand and the right. Many gas shut-off wrenches are also non-sparking and rust-resistant, making them safe and durable for emergency use. Some models even come with additional features, like the ability to open water mains or small pry points for braking and entry. But the primary function is clear: stop gas leaks before they turn deadly. Why doesn't FEMA emphasize this tool? Liability. Encouraging people to interact with utility systems is risky, but in a real-world emergency, waiting for a professional can cost lives. Pro tip: mount your gas shut-off wrench near your meter now. Use zip ties, a hook, or Velcro to keep it secure and easily accessible. In a crisis, you won't have time to dig through your gear. This tool doesn't look tactical or flashy, but it's a lifesaver. It prevents explosions, saves homes, and gives you direct control over one of the most volatile threats in any disaster scenario. When the ground shakes or the blast goes off, this is the tool everyone will wish they had. Don't wait until it's too late. Add a gas shut-off wrench to your kit today, and take control of your safety. 4. Heavy-duty reusable zip tie cuffs. The multi-tool you didn't know you needed. When you think of zip ties, you probably picture flimsy plastic strips from the hardware store. But in the world of survival, heavy-duty reusable zip tie cuffs are a game changer. These aren't just for restraining people like you see in movies. They're versatile tools that can handle a wide range of survival tasks. And yet, you'll never see them on FEMA's checklist. Let's start with the obvious. Yes, they can be used for temporary restraint in high-stakes situations. Whether you're dealing with someone unstable, protecting your group, or preventing harm, having this tool gives you a tactical advantage. But their real value lies in their versatility. These cuffs are thicker, stronger, and designed for repeated use, making them perfect for securing gear, lashing down tarps, repairing broken zippers, or even building shelter frames. They're especially useful when you don't have time to tie knots, or when traditional rope just won't cut. Why don't emergency guides talk about them? Because the word restraint makes people uncomfortable. Agencies prefer to focus on community building and soft skills, but in a real survival scenario, you need control over your environment, your gear, and sometimes the people around you. Look for models with a locking mechanism, like a button or latch, instead of the one-time use kind. Choose materials like UV-resistant nylon or reinforced polymer to ensure they hold up in extreme conditions. Pro tip: pack at least. You'll find more uses for them than you expect, from securing stretchers to patching broken packs. Bottom line, when speed and simplicity matter, reusable zip tie cuffs deliver. They're silent, strong, and adaptable, exactly what survival demands. Add them to your kit now, because when things go sideways, you'll be glad you did. 5. Trauma shears, the tool that saves lives in seconds. In a survival situation, injuries are inevitable. The difference between life and death often comes down to how quickly you can treat a wound. That's where trauma shears come in. These aren't your average scissors, they're designed for emergency response. Built to cut through tough materials like denim, leather, seat belts, and even light metal. When seconds matter, trauma shears get the job done. Unlike knives, which can be dangerous and imprecise, trauma shears are blunt-tipped for safety, serrated for grip, and angled for leverage. They're the go-to tool for medics, because they expose injuries quickly and cleanly, without causing additional harm. Whether you're applying a tourniquet, stopping a bleed, or accessing a limb through heavy clothing, trauma shears are the tool you'll reach for. So why doesn't FEMA include them in their kit? Because they're not pretty. Trauma shears look aggressive and suggest that injuries are more likely than most people want to admit. But if you're prepping for reality, not comfort, you know that injuries are part of the deal. A good pair of trauma shears should be made of stainless steel, coated for rust resistance, and durable enough for multiple uses. Some models even include extras like oxygen tank wrenches or ring cutters, but prioritize durability over gimmicks. Pro tip: keep one pair in your individual first aid kit, IFAK, and another in your vehicle's glove box. Always test them before adding them to your kit. Cheap ones can bend or jam under pressure. Trauma shears won't fix a wound, but they'll get you to it fast, safely, and without hesitation. They're simple, brutal, and life-saving. And because they're ignored by almost every mainstream checklist, they're exactly the kind of tool you need to carry. 6. Blackout cloth, the ultimate tool for staying invisible. When the power goes out and your neighborhood plunges into darkness, even the smallest glow from a window can make you a target. That's why blackout cloth, also known as a light discipline tarp, is an essential survival tool. It's not flashy or high-tech, but it could be the difference between staying safe and becoming a target. Blackout cloth is thick, non-reflective, and designed to block 100% of light from escaping. Whether you're using a flashlight, lantern, or even a small fire, this material ensures that no light leaks out through windows, tent seams, or shelter gaps. In a world where others are cold, scared, and desperate, showing signs of comfort like light is an open invitation for trouble. FEMA won't tell you to carry blackout cloth because their focus is on visibility. Stay visible, stay safe, but in a true survival scenario, visibility can turn into vulnerability. Staying hidden is often the best way to stay alive. You can use blackout cloth to line windows, divide rooms, build stealth shelters, or conceal gear. It also doubles as insulation, wind protection, and emergency privacy. Look for materials like polyester or tightly woven canvas, preferably fire retardant. Some survivalists even treat their blackout cloth with odor-absorbing spray for added concealment. Pro tip: pre-cut panels for your home's windows and practice sealing off a room in under 5 minutes. When the lights go out, you won't have time to fumble around. This isn't paranoia, it's preparation. In long-term blackouts, light becomes a beacon, and the last thing you want is desperate eyes locking onto your location. Blackout cloth is silent, shielding, and absolutely invisible. Exactly how you want to be when darkness is your only cover. Add it to your kit now, because when the grid goes down, you'll be glad you did. 7. Modified rat traps, the survivalist's secret weapon. When you think of survival gear, rat traps probably don't come to mind. But seasoned preppers know that these old-school, spring-loaded traps are one of the most versatile tools you can carry. Forget the poison kind, this is about the classic snap traps your grandparents used. They're lightweight, reusable, and incredibly effective in ways you might not expect. First and foremost, they're excellent for food acquisition. In a survival situation, protein is critical, and small game like rodents can be a lifesaver. Set a few traps near your shelter or along known animal paths, and you've got a silent, low-maintenance way to secure food. A crumb of bread or a dab of peanut butter is all you need to bait them. In cold weather, when calories are everything, these traps could mean the difference between survival and collapse. But their utility doesn't stop there. Rat traps can also be rigged as perimeter alarm. Attach a fishing line and a few metal washers, and you've got a simple, battery-free noise alert system. If someone or something crosses your boundary, you'll know immediately. They're also great for protecting your gear. Animals love to chew through packs, tarps, and food containers. Strategically placed traps can keep them at bay without resorting to poison or loud attention-grabbing weapons. Why doesn't FEMA talk about this? Because it's too raw, too self-reliant, and too far removed from their sanitized survival kit. But any experienced outdoorsman will tell you that rat traps are a practical, no-nonsense solution to multiple problems. Pro tip: invest in traps with high-tension springs and metal trigger plates. Avoid plastic, it's less durable and prone to crack. Always clean your traps after use to prevent scent buildup. These tools are small, lightweight, and solve 3 critical issues: food, security, and gear protection. They're not glamorous, but they're brutally effective. In a world where silence and simplicity are key, rat traps are a survivalist's best-kept secret. 8. Contractor grade 6mm plastic sheeting, the do-it-all survival material. If you had to build a shelter, seal off a room, collect rainwater, or create a contamination barrier, all in the same day, what would you use? The answer is Contractor grade 6mm plastic sheeting. It's not flashy, but it's one of the most versatile and essential survival tools you can own. And yet, it's completely absent from FEMA's recommendations. This heavy-duty plastic is a prepper's dream. It can be used to create instant shelters, line windows after a blast, or even serve as a rain catch system. Need to quarantine a space or block out dust and debris? Plastic sheeting has you covered. It's also perfect for lining pits for water storage, wrapping food supplies, or creating a clean surface for medical procedure. The 6mm thickness strikes the perfect balance between durability and flexibility, making it tough enough to withstand wind, heat, and heavy use. FEMA barely mentions tarps, let alone plastic sheeting. Why? Because it's not pre-packaged or convenient for their one-size-fits-all kit. But in a real survival scenario, this material is invaluable. It folds flat, takes up minimal space, and can be adapted to countless situations. Pro tip: choose clear plastic for light transmission and greenhouse effects, or black plastic for concealment and insulation. Store it in a dry roll to avoid punctures, and always have duct tape on hand to secure it. With one roll of plastic sheeting, you're prepared for weather, contamination, and even light discipline. It's not tactical or glamorous, but it's one of the most functional tools you'll ever own. Stock up now, because when disaster strikes, this simple material will be worth its weight in gold. 9. Headlamp with red light mode. The ultimate hands-free tool. When the lights go out and you're navigating in total darkness, the last thing you want is to fumble with a flashlight. That's where a headlamp with red light mode comes in. This isn't just about convenience, it's about stealth, security, and efficiency. And yet, FEMA still sticks to recommending basic flashlights, completely ignoring the advantages of hands-free lighting. A headlamp allows you to keep both hands free for critical tasks like setting up camp, treating injuries, or reading maps. But the real game changer is the red light mode. Unlike white light, which destroys your night vision and makes you visible from a distance, red light preserves your natural eyesight and drastically reduces your visibility to others. In a survival situation, that's the difference between moving unnoticed and becoming a target. Look for a headlamp with multiple brightness settings, a tilting head, and a weatherproof design. Battery life is crucial, especially in cold environments where power drains faster. Some advanced models even have lockout modes to prevent accidental activation in your battery. Red light isn't just tactical, it's also energy efficient, extending your battery life when recharging isn't an option. Pro tip: carry one headlamp on your person and stash a backup in your bug-out bag. If you're working with a group, red light helps maintain coordination without drawing attention. This isn't about hiking or camping, it's about controlling your visibility, your movement, and your energy. When the grid goes down and chaos sets in, a headlamp with red light mode becomes an essential survival tool. It's small, lightweight, and gives you a massive advantage in the dark. Stay mobile, stay hidden, and stay prepared on your terms. 10. Multi-tool with glass breaker, the compact lifesaver. When it comes to survival, versatility is king. That's why a high-quality multi-tool with a built-in glass breaker is an absolute must-have. This isn't just a gadget, it's a compact, all-in-one solution for countless survival scenarios. From cutting, prying, and screwing, to breaking through barriers, a multi-tool is the Swiss Army knife of modern survival. The glass breaker is where this tool truly shines. Imagine being trapped in a vehicle after an accident, or needing to escape through a locked window during a fire or flood. A glass breaker can shatter tempered glass in seconds, giving you a quick exit when every second counts. It's not just for emergencies though. The other tools like pliers, wire cutters, and screwdrivers are invaluable for repairs, building shelters, or even crafting makeshift weapons. Why doesn't FEMA emphasize this? Because it's not a one-size-fits-all tool. It requires a bit of know-how, and isn't as standardized as a flashlight or first aid kit. But in real-world survival, adaptability is everything. Pro tip: invest in a multi-tool made from stainless steel or titanium for durability. Look for models with locking mechanisms to keep the tools secure during use. And don't skimp on the glass breaker. Make sure it's made from tungsten carbide for maximum effectiveness. Keep one in your pocket, another in your vehicle, and a third in your bug-out bag. A multi-tool with a glass breaker isn't just a convenience, it's a lifesaver. Compact, durable, and endlessly useful, it's the kind of gear you'll reach for again and again when the unexpected happens. 11. Ferrocerium rod. Fire starting made simple. Fire is one of the most critical elements of survival. It provides warmth, cooks food, purifies water, and even boosts morale. But when matches are wet and lighters run out of fuel, what's your backup plan? Enter the Ferrocerium rod, or Ferro rod, a simple, reliable fire-starting tool that works in any weather, at any altitude. A ferro rod produces sparks by scraping its surface with a metal strike. These sparks can reach temperatures of over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, igniting dry tinder almost instantly. Unlike matches or lighters, a ferro rod doesn't rely on fuel or delicate components, making it virtually fail-proof. It's lightweight, compact, and can last for thousands of strikes, making it a long-term solution for fire starting. Why doesn't FEMA include this in their kit? Because it requires a bit of skill and practice. It's not as straightforward as a box of matches, but it's far more reliable in the long run. And let's face it, FEMA's focus is on short-term survival, not long-term self-reliance. Pro tip: pair your ferro rod with a waterproof tinder source like cotton balls soaked in petroleum jelly or a commercial fire starter. Practice using it before you need it. Learning to strike a ferro rod effectively takes a bit of technique. Store it in a waterproof case to keep it dry and ready to use. In a survival situation, fire is life. A ferro rod ensures you can create it anytime, anywhere. It's not flashy, but it's one of the most dependable tools you can carry. Add it to your kit and practice now, because when you need fire you won't have time to learn. 12. Collapsible water container. Portable hydration on demand. Water is the most critical resource in any survival situation. You can only last 3 days without it, and finding a reliable source is often easier said than done. That's where a collapsible water container comes in. Lightweight, compact, and easy to store, this tool allows you to collect, transport, and store large amounts of water without taking up valuable space in your pack. Unlike rigid water bottles, collapsible containers can be folded or rolled up when not in use, making them ideal for bug-out bags or emergency kits. They're also incredibly versatile. Use them to collect rainwater, transport water from a distant source, or store purified water for later use. Many models are made from BPA-free materials and include spigots for easy pouring, making them both safe and convenient. Why doesn't FEMA recommend these? Because they're not as standardized as bottled water or jugs. But in a real survival scenario, flexibility is key. A collapsible water container gives you options, something FEMA's bare-bones approach often lacks. Pro tip: choose a container with a capacity of at least 5 gallons for maximum utility. Look for models with reinforced seams and durable materials to prevent leaks. And don't forget to clean and dry it thoroughly after each use to prevent mold and bacteria buildup. In a crisis, water is everything. A collapsible water container ensures you can collect and store it wherever you find it. It's lightweight, practical, and absolutely essential for long-term survival. Don't wait until you're desperate. Add one to your kit today. 13. Paracord, the ultimate survival rope. When it comes to survival, few tools are as versatile and essential as paracord. Originally developed for parachutes, this lightweight yet incredibly strong rope has become a staple in every prepper's kit. It's not just rope, it's a multi-purpose survival tool that can be used in countless ways, making it a must-have for any emergency situation. Paracord is made up of an outer nylon sheath and multiple inner strands, which can be separated and used individually. This gives it incredible flexibility. Need to build a shelter? Paracord can secure tarps or branches. Need to fish? The inner strands can be used as fishing line. Need to repair gear? It can replace broken straps, zippers, or even shoelaces. It's also perfect for creating snares, tying down loads, or even making an emergency tourniquet. Why doesn't FEMA emphasize paracord? Because it requires a bit of creativity and know-how to use effectively. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, but in the hands of someone prepared, it's invaluable. Pro tip: invest in 550 paracord, which can hold up to 550 pounds of weight. Look for options with reflective strands for visibility or fire-starting strands for added utility. Always carry at least 50 feet in your kit. It's lightweight, compact, and can be coiled or braided to save space. Paracord is the Swiss Army knife of ropes. It's simple, durable, and endlessly useful. Whether you're building, repairing, or improvising, this tool will have your back when it matters most. Add it to your kit and learn its uses now. You'll thank yourself later. 14. Survival whistle, the small tool that saves lives. In a survival situation, being able to signal for help can mean the difference between life and death. That's where a survival whistle comes in. This small, lightweight tool is one of the most effective ways to get attention, whether you're lost in the wilderness or trapped in a disaster zone. And yet it's often overlooked in favor of flashier gear. A survival whistle can produce a sound that travels much farther than your voice, especially in noisy or chaotic environments. It requires no batteries, no fuel, and no special skills to use. 3 short blasts on a whistle is the universal signal for distress, making it an essential tool for anyone venturing into the outdoors or preparing for emergencies. Why doesn't FEMA push this more? Because it's not a do-it-all tool. It's simple, specific, and easy to overlook. But in a real crisis, simplicity is often what saves lives. Pro tip: choose a whistle made from durable, weather-resistant materials like aluminum or ABS plastic. Avoid whistles with moving parts, as they're more likely to attach it to your backpack, keychain, or even your clothing for easy access. And remember, Practice using it so you're ready when the time comes. A survival whistle is small but mighty. It's a tool you hope you'll never need, but one you'll be grateful to have if you do. Add it to your kit. It could save your life. 15. Emergency Mylar blanket. Compact warmth and protection. When temperatures drop, staying warm isn't just about comfort, it's about survival. Hypothermia can set in quickly, even in mild conditions, and that's where an emergency Mylar blanket comes in. Also known as a space blanket, this lightweight, compact tool is designed to retain up to 90% of your body heat, making it a lifesaver in cold or wet conditions. Mylar blankets are made from a thin, reflective material that's not only great for warmth, but also for visibility. The shiny surface can be used to signal for help, making it a dual-purpose survival tool. They're also waterproof and windproof, providing a barrier against the element. Use one as a ground cover, a makeshift shelter, or even to collect rainwater in a pinch. Why doesn't FEMA emphasize these more? Because they're often seen as a last resort item, but in reality, they're one of the most practical and affordable tools you can carry. They take up almost no space, weigh next to nothing, and can be a literal lifesaver in the right conditions. Pro tip: carry multiple Mylar blankets in your kit. They're inexpensive and can be used for a variety of purposes, from insulation to signaling. Look for reinforced versions if you want something more durable, and always keep one in your car, one in your pack, and one in your home emergency kit. An emergency Mylar blanket is a simple, no-nonsense tool that punches well above its weight. It's not flashy, but it's effective. When the temperature drops and the stakes are high, you'll be glad you have one, or several on hand.